just 11 years old, this talented player seemed poised to be the next big freestyler in Rocket League. But instead, what happened over the following 2 years left him ostracized by the modding community and permanently banned by Psyonix. This is the story of Crunchy, a young player whose controversial career has connections to Musty, Linkuru, Seabell, and Thanovic. But it's a tale that actually began on this channel. In January 2020, I received an unsolicited DM from someone claiming to be the youngest freestyler in Rocket League. Now, I'm no stranger to the wild claims and exaggerations that viewers often make in an effort to be in a video. Things that 99% of the time, they're not able to deliver. But since it was just a fluke that my DMs were even open at the time he messaged me, I decided to at least give the kid a chance to back up his pitch. And surprisingly, he did. Now, even at the time, there was nothing really groundbreaking about Crunchy's montage, but the fact that these shots were being pulled off by an 11-year-old child kinda blew me away. Thus, in February 2020, I released a video entitled Rocket League Players Are Getting Better, Faster, and Younger, in which I explored how content, tutorials, and general skill had progressed to the point that newer players were now improving significantly faster than their predecessors did. While I was sure Crunchy was not the only high-skilled preteen in Rocket League, for my video he served as a perfect example of what we could expect to see more of in the future. Because if this was him at 11, imagine his skills when he turned 15. During my interview with Crunchy, he explained that he had started playing at just 9 years old and had already amassed almost 2,000 hours in the game. But probably one of the most surprising things we discussed was the story about his first interaction with Linkuru.
But on Linkuru's server, which was this was back in March, maybe even April of last year, when he was doing the $3,000 training pack, and everyone was like, how do you do 31 or whatever it was? And I came in there and I was like, I know how to do 30, and I showed people. And I actually could because I know how to do the speed flip. So I got in his voice chat and Linker joined and he heard my voice and he was like, wait, how old are you? So then I told him and then he just was like, oh, well, you're getting banned. And they just banned me.
For those of you that are unaware, Crunchy is referring to the infamous shot 30 of Linkuru's training pack challenge from 2019. It's a shot that caused issues for many pro players because at that time, none of them knew how to speed flip. Meanwhile, here was this 11-year-old kid who had figured it out only to get banned from the Discord. As a channel with just 50,000 subs at the time, this video ended up exceeding all my expectations, and viewers were impressed by both Crunchy's skills and maturity. Also, his channel reaped the benefits too as he gained almost 2,000 new subscribers. But that would be nothing when compared to what would come next. Just 6 months later, Crunchy would find himself on the biggest stage in Rocket League, as he faced off against Musty in one of his legendary freestyle horse videos. Despite his nervousness and perhaps being a little too ambitious with his shot attempts, this 12-year-old freestyler once again lived up to the hype.
Oh my god. You got it? Wow. Wow. What the heck, man? I've done that maybe 10 times in my entire life.
I'm gonna do your mechanic. I'm going to ceiling shot report server.
Oh, the report server shot. Legendary report server shot. You only get one attempt at this. Oh my god. What the heck? Bro, oh my god, all you had to do was stop after the first time.
Oh, come on, dude. Okay.
If you full blast it though, you might not go and it might hit crossbar. Probably a million people watching right now. You got this.
No, that's
Crunchy.
Dude, alright.
Crunchy, no, bro.
No, I didn't go out like that, dude.
And Musty wasn't exaggerating. By the time Free-to-Play dropped in late 2020, the horse video had over 1 million views, and it currently sits at 5 million today. Also, this helped push Crunchy past the 10,000 subscriber mark and meet the requirements for a YouTube partnership. It truly was a meteoric rise for a kid that was basically unknown just 8 months earlier. With the massive rise of popularity due to Free-to-Play, combined with the publicity of having a starring role on one of the biggest channels in Rocket League, Crunchy seemed to be well on his way to a promising freestyling career. But this is where our story takes a bit of a turn. As I looked back through our old DMs, it was interesting to reread Crunchy's slow transition from Rocket League freestyler into Rocket League modder, because at the time, I didn't really think much of it. But what started as innocent manipulation of items on his client quickly transitioned into server-side hacks that led to his first account ban in November 2020. But that wasn't enough to discourage him. Any patch Psyonix made to counter his hacks was just seen as a fun challenge for him to overcome, and at one point he had even figured out a way to both spawn items he did not own and trade them. Though it was never done for scamming purposes, but instead it was just to show that he could. Despite that fact, this type of modding created a real danger for the BakkesMod community, as they are only allowed to operate due to their adherence to Psyonix's TOS. Thus, it was important for them to separate themselves from any controversy, and Crunchy was eventually banned from the main Rocket League modding community. Undeterred, Crunchy continued to work on his own plugins. Now, some were innocent, such as this cool menu swapper, while others continued to violate Psyonix's strict rules for the modding community. Yeah, they don't like it when you mess with their in-game billboards. Outside of his controversial modding work, at this time Crunchy also played a small role in the creation of my freestyle bot, Stallion. In April 2021, during initial testing, myself and Stallion's designer, Verx, found ourselves in an awkward situation where we had a bot that was able to replay player inputs, but neither of us was good enough to find out if that meant it could actually freestyle. You'll have to excuse the janky footage, but this was the special moment we finally got to see the bot copy a freestyler. To me, it was kind of a historic achievement, and Crunchy actually ended up providing several shots for Stallion that were later used in my freestyle bot videos with both Retals and Pulsefire. Now personally, I always made sure to keep my distance from whatever crazy stuff Crunchy was messing with. Though I admit it was amusing to just observe from the sidelines as he would celebrate a new hack, only to get banned again just a few hours later. But in late 2021, he definitely pushed things a little too far when he equipped 2 of his friends with server-side hacks and went into game with alpha items, RLCS titles, white hats, Psyonix banners, and most disappointingly, impersonating community manager Devin Connors. But all this hacking wasn't without purpose. In December 2021, Crunchy combined all his findings into his very own mod. This client-side plugin gives players the ability to change their own custom titles or use any title found in the game. Items can be spawned into your inventory and will even appear to your friends when you're in the same menu lobby together. Though Crunchy made sure that none of the features worked on the server side, his mod is actually a combination of cool quality of life improvements and things that would never be allowed by the official BakkesMod community. Thus, just as before, I had no plans to install the mod myself, until a fateful day in January 2022. While collecting Rocket League facts for another episode of my 10 Minutes of Useless Information series, I decided I wanted to show off the exotic and black market drops that have been in the game files since 2020. Based on what Crunchy had shown me, I knew that his mod would let me spawn the drops into my game instead of just showing a static picture. So I installed the plugin, recorded my footage, and then kind of forgot about it. After avoiding Crunchy's hacks for so long, I ended up picking the worst time to risk it. Just a few weeks later, BakkesMod put out an update that disabled all BakkesMod features for those that had installed Crunchy's mod. Yes, even though they were only client-side mods, it seems some users had found a way to use the titles and items to impersonate and scam other players. The website made it clear there were no appeals or plans to unban. And one of the BakkesMod moderators informed me that even just using it to show unreleased items in my video was a violation of the Rocket League Code of Conduct. I thus found myself in the unique situation of being a member of the BakkesMod programming Discord, a longtime paying Patreon to Bakkes himself, while at the same time being permanently banned from a mod I use every day. Ouch. Fortunately, without explanation, 3 weeks later, the bans were all lifted, and even Crunchy's mod started working again. Probably one of the most interesting parts of the Crunchy story is how it seems to be so interwoven into the community, but up until now, has never been told in full. Whether it be his video with Musty, his shots in my freestyle bot, or even his mod, almost everyone watching this video has most likely come in contact with at least some Crunchy-related content over the last 2 years, whether you knew it or not. It might even be a more recent sighting, such as Linkaroo's video in April 2022, which involved him meeting a hacker that said he could set Linkaroo up with a 3-wheeled Octane in a private match. That hacker, of course, was Crunchy.
Isn't this disapproved by Psyonix? Is Daddy Psy gonna banhammer me? My man wants me to eject some DLLs. Man, about to get f***ing hacked on stream, I swear to God. Okay, this is Sussy Bucky Wucky. This is the clip of him just loading into a LAN match with this car. Interesting stuff. Yep.
In June, there was yet another hacker sighting that can be attributed to him, though this time it was just someone using his mod to show off glitched items in-game. And yes, these fake items can appear in the trade window, though if Thanovic had pushed accept, the trade would have actually never gone through. And it may be surprising to know that despite his focus on modding, Crunchy's freestyle skills have actually not suffered. This is because whenever he gets stuck on a coding problem, he says he just grinds free play until he figures it out. So in case you're wondering, the Crunchy we've been talking about is the same Crunchy that dominated CBell's recent Flip Reset competition series. And finally, we have Crunchy's mod to thank for the multiple item-based content creators that do simulated exotic and black market drop openings. Yes, the very thing I was told I wasn't supposed to show in a video. This is not a story that has a perfect conclusion. While he estimates he has had over 30 accounts banned over the last couple years, Crunchy now claims to have been clean for several months. but what clean means to Crunchy is probably a lot different than what it means to Psyonix. He also says he feels regret and embarrassment for his actions in the past, but at the same time continues to play around with things that he's really not supposed to. Thus, I think it's fitting to end this tale with neither praise nor judgment. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the untold story of how an 11-year-old freestyler became the youngest hacker in Rocket League.